Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about a drama thriller film called Black Swan from 2010. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. Nina Sayers is a young ballerina with great promise. Her mother, Erica, used to be a ballerina, but when she found out she was pregnant, she devoted herself to her daughter. She takes care of her and tries to guide her on the right path. Their ballet company at Lincoln Center in New York is planning a new production of Swan Lake. The young girls are in the dressing room. They are openly discussing the prima donna Beth McIntyre. They are convinced that she is too old for ballet and it is time for her to give way to the young. Listening to her colleagues, Nina is not indignant. She admires her without black envy. Their conversation is interrupted by Lily, a newcomer from San Francisco. Having finished gossiping, Nina begins to prepare for the rehearsal. That day, they are visited by the French choreographer Thomas Leroy. He carefully observes the soloists and then names someone he is ready to consider for the lead role in Swan Lake. Nina and Lilia are among the other applicants. While waiting for their turn to audition, they hear the choreographer's angry shouts. Nina tries to concentrate. When she sees the door to Beth's dressing room open, she sneaks in and steals a lipstick, sincerely hoping that it will be a good luck charm. After the White and Black Swan dance, the girl listens to Thomas. He is not sure that Nina is the perfect candidate for the role. The man thinks that she is beautiful as a white swan, but too reserved and not passionate enough as a black swan. The upset girl goes home, not hoping for success. Erica assures her that her daughter is too hard on herself and it's time to look around, because besides work, there should be a personal life. The next day, Thomas invites the girl for a conversation and tries to kiss her. Nina bites the man and runs away. It is in this gesture that Thomas sees the inner potential. When the cast lists finally appear, Nina can't believe her eyes. She is given the lead role, although at first everyone thought that Veronica would play her. Unable to believe her luck, she calls her mother and then goes home. When she gets out of the shower, she notices a scratch on her back that starts to bleed slightly. She hurriedly wipes off all traces and goes to see Erica, who has prepared a huge cake to celebrate her daughter's success. Nina looks at the treat with concern because now she needs to watch her weight more than ever. But in order not to upset her mother, she agrees to eat a small piece. Endless grueling rehearsals begin for the girl. Thomas introduces her to the public as a new prima donna, but the girl herself is covered by a veil of strange and ominous hallucinations. During a reception, she notices a burr on her finger and goes to the ladies' room to fix it. But when she tears off a piece of fabric, she thinks she has ripped off a huge layer of skin. She is snapped out of these visions by Lily, who enters the room. She tries to make friends with the withdrawn and reclusive Nina. When the evening ends and the girl is waiting in the hall for Thomas, Beth McIntyre approaches her. The woman is quite drunk, so she tries to take out all her grievances on the young ballerina. After saying a lot of hurtful things to her, she takes out her frustration on the choreographer who has appeared. When the girl returns home, her mother helps her undress and notices a rash and a scratch on her daughter's back. The woman is sure that she has started combing her hair in her sleep again, as she used to do when she was a child. The mother immediately drags her daughter to the bathroom to cut her nails, because there is very little time left before the premiere, and she simply cannot appear on stage with a scratched back. Thomas cannot accept Nina's stiffness. He criticizes her more and more harshly in front of everyone and even calls her frigid. To get the girl to talk, the man even tries to seduce her, and when she refuses, he advises her to satisfy herself. But this method does not help. During the process, she sees the image of her mother or some strange hallucinations. After the next rehearsal, the whole troupe learns the terrible news that Beth has been hit by a car and is now in the hospital with broken legs. Nina considers it her duty to visit the former prima donna. Seeing the terrible scars on the woman's legs, the girl retreats in horror and leaves the hospital in tears. In the evening, sitting in the hall after the rehearsal, Lily finds Nina crying. The girl shares with her new friend her feelings about her relationship with the choreographer. In the morning, Thomas quarrels with Nina, and it turns out that Lily deliberately told him about their conversation yesterday. This leads to a quarrel between the girls. In the evening, Erica begins to ask her daughter about the details of her relationship with the director, but she evades the conversation. At this moment, Lily appears on the doorstep, trying to apologize and invite her friend to dinner, but her mother does not allow them to talk. The irritated daughter grabs her coat and goes with her friend to a nightclub. Lily manages to get the girl drunk and give her a pill so that she finally relaxes and lets go of herself. The girls return home late at night. Nina aggressively answers her mother's questions, for which Erica slaps her. The drunken girl, furious with her mother's behavior, locks herself in a room with her friend, who brings her to pleasure, covering her face with a pillow. In the morning, Nina wakes up and realizes that she has slept through the rehearsal. Running to the theater, she hears the music and her role, and sees Lily dancing the Black Swan part instead of her. The girl attacks her with accusations about last night, but she just laughs and says that she spent the night with a guy from the club and that she just dreamed about what Nina was talking about. From that day on, Nina becomes more and more worried that Lily wants to take her role away from her. She even asks Thomas to replace her understudy, but he just smiles, assuring her that she is too stressed. The girl spends the entire evening before the premiere in the auditorium rehearsing her role. The security guard has already turned off the lights, signaling that the theater is closing. Walking through the dark corridors, Nina sees Tom and Lily making love. Unable to contain her indignation, she runs to the hospital to see Beth, hoping to find comfort there. Due to serious injuries, the former prima ballerina suffers from severe depression. Suddenly, she grabs a nail file and starts cutting her face. Frightened, Nina runs out of the room, and when she notices that the same nail file is in her hands, she quickly runs home. There she is horrified to see her mother's paintings come to life. The portraits of her daughter in various variations become like eerie grimaces. Locked in the room, she examines her back and pulls a black feather out of the wound. Immediately afterwards, her legs bend like a bird's and she faints. She wakes up only the next evening with her socks on. Her mother is sitting next to her with a worried expression on her face. She explains that she had been trying to scratch herself all night. Erica also says that she called Thomas and told him that her daughter was sick. Nina runs to the theater, knocking over everything in her path. When the choreographer sees her, he is very surprised, but still allows her to perform, which undoubtedly upsets Lily, because she was already ready to play the main role. In the first act, Nina falls out of her partner's arms and Thomas breaks down in tears, urging the girl to pull herself together. In the dressing room, the ballerina finds her friend. Lily says some unpleasant words to the girl. She does this on purpose to crush her rival morally. A fight erupts between the girls, during which Nina pushes Lily into a mirror and it breaks. She grabs one of the shards and kills her stunt double. Pulling herself together, the prima hides the body in the bathroom, changes her clothes, and calmly goes on stage. She dances this part uninhibitedly and passionately. Her eyes become like swan-like, and feathers grow on her body, turning her arms into wings. Nina receives a standing ovation, and the audience gives her a standing ovation. They see that the ballerina has no wings. Going backstage, she sees her colleagues, led by Thomas, applauding. Nina kisses him on the lips and returns to the stage to bow to the audience once again. After that, she heads to her dressing room to change for the last act. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door and Lily appears on the threshold. She congratulates her friend on her great performance and apologizes for the recent fight. When she opens the bathroom door, she sees that there is no body there. Looking at the mirror, she sees its shards on the floor, and turning her gaze to herself, Nina realizes that it was she who was shot in the stomach. Overcoming the pain, the prima goes on stage to finish the last act. After finishing her performance, the ballerina jumps off an improvised cliff and remains lying down. The audience erupts in applause, but when Thomas approaches the girl, he sees a bloody stain spreading across her dress. He calls for help and tries to find out what happened. Nina's answer was simple. I felt perfection. I realized it. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I'm happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. OLEJA Recapped was with you. See you soon.